the greatest power forward in history, scored 0 points in his first college game against Alaska Anchorage. Tim Duncan's climb from there to become the second-to-last senior taken #1 overall in the NBA draft is a lesson in perseverance and promises kept. This episode of Wooden Award Spotlight is presented by Principal. You probably heard that Duncan was a swimmer growing up in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So how did he end up playing basketball at Wake Forest, of all places? With the only Olympic-sized swimming pool on St. Croix wrecked by Hurricane Hugo, what pulled Duncan out of the water was both the cancellation of competitive meets and training in the ocean. His fear of sharks was serious enough that, despite being the best 400 freestyler of his age in the United States, he set his sights on the hardwood instead. Duncan's family had an outdoor hoop, which was a refuge for Tim after his mother Ion's death from breast cancer the day before his 14th birthday. His brother-in-law, Ricky Lowry, had played college hoops and encouraged him to give the game a real shot. As a 6'1" ninth grader in a K-12 school with 400 total students, Duncan's transition to round ball was far from seamless, but he soaked up coaching quickly and lived by a mantra his mother provided him.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is your best.
The motivation Duncan lost for swimming during tragedy, he rediscovered in basketball, as he traveled to play in any pickup game or competition he could find. The most fateful of those included Alonzo Mourning, 1992 second overall pick. One of Zoe's teammates in this Goodwill exhibition game was Wake Forest alum Chris King. As King remembers it, Duncan, now nearly 6'9", blocked Mourning on one end, took it coast to coast, and dunked it over Zoe's chase down attempt. King got in Wake coach Dave Odom's ear to let him know there was a 16-year-old prospect worth the long recruiting trip. Odom's scholarship offer looked more appealing than the interest from cold-weather Hartford, Providence, and Delaware State. But that didn't end up shielding Duncan from seeing his first snowfall the day of his debut. With 2 other big-man recruits ineligible, Duncan went from looking at a redshirt year to starting on day 1, even though he was down 17 pounds after catching chickenpox a week earlier. Still just 17 years old, it was a quiet first appearance with 7 boards, a block, and no shot attempts in 10 minutes of an upset loss. The very next day, Duncan recorded his first of 87 career double-doubles. While he was the Demon Deacon's third leading scorer and top rebounder, defense is where the big fundamentals game most immediately translated. He obliterated the school record for blocks in a season by 44 and ranked 5th in the NCAA at 3.8 blocks per game. That summer, he got to match up with his favorite player, Shaquille O'Neal, while Dream Team 2 tuned up for the Olympics. Now 20 pounds heavier than his freshman year, plus 6'10" and still growing, Duncan holding his own against Shaq was a preview of his breakout. Not only did he set Wake's record for blocks in just 51 career games, but also improved his scoring by 7 points per game and rebounding by 3 per game to average a double-double.
LaRue kicks it for Duncan, triple teamed, so what?
In his first ACC game as a sophomore, he put up 26 points and 20 boards on Florida State, Wake's first 2020 game since 1968. It had been even longer since the Deacs won the ACC tournament, 1962 to be precise, but they got it done in dramatic fashion in 1995.
Gotta get busy now. Penetration, give yourself a chance.
Randolph Childress just broke the tournament record and put North Carolina down by 2. Nobody has ever scored this many points in an ACC tournament. Randolph Childress, 107.
It means everything to us. We worked the whole season so hard to get here, and nobody believed us, and we came out and did it ourselves.
I'll take Tim Duncan over any big man in the country.
Yet even with the dynamic duo of Duncan and Randolph Childress, Wake's 26-6 season ended with a Sweet 16 loss and a number 3 rank in the final AP poll. Timmy left it all on the floor, with 22 boards and 8 blocks to go along with his 12 points in that season ender. But with Childress off to the NBA, it was truly Duncan's team as a junior. Wake didn't miss a beat, duplicating its success with another ACC crown. Duncan repeated as NABC Defensive Player of the Year, while upping his scoring again to become a first-team All-American.
Duncan goes back. Oh, man!
You know what's scary is they don't know how good he can be. He's still learning the game.
He had already been hyped as the top prospect of previous draft cycle, but only added to the intrigue with performances like a near quadruple double against Florida, 14-14, 9-9, and Wake's first ever triple double against Maryland, 14-15, and a school record 10 blocks. He fought through the flu to power the Deacs to their first Elite Eight in a dozen years, where eventual champs Kentucky proved to be too much. Most fans wouldn't argue that Duncan had anything left to prove, and the scouts agreed. He would be the number one pick in a stacked 1996 NBA draft.
On behalf of all college basketball fans, a thank you tonight to Tim Duncan, the Wake Forest center. Some thought could go number one in the NBA draft. Tonight announced he's staying in school.
Before the attention and the promise of riches, even before basketball was his future, a 13-year-old Duncan sat in the tent where his mom underwent treatment for cancer. The hurricane had destroyed the hospitals. He promised her that he would graduate from college. He could have done that later through night classes, but he figured he would only benefit from another year of college ball. The world's most interesting psychology major made the most of it, employing his soft hands and mastery of the post to score nearly 21 points per game on career-best efficiency, on top of leading the nation in rebounding. Add another 3 blocks and assists per game for good measure. His DPOY win in '97 illustrated his defensive gravity. Duncan averaged 37 minutes but limited his fouls to 2 per game. Wake's disciplined defense held opponents to 36.4% shooting from the floor, second best in the nation. Plenty of his enduring moments came on offense, though. There were 28 points, including the game's Final Four, to hold off Virginia 58-54 and give Wake a 13-0 start. In February, 25 second-half points to number 5 Maryland's 26 as a team in erasing a 12-point halftime deficit to win on the road.
I mean, I've said it so many times I get tired of saying it. The big guy here, Tim Duncan, without a doubt the greatest player in college basketball.
In his final home game, Duncan finished an assist shy of a triple-double. After the game, in a jersey retirement ceremony, his father, William, recalled the good, better, best mantra in a full-circle moment for the Duncan family. The end got less storybook from there, with second-round exits in the ACC and NCAA tournaments. But there was still so much to celebrate. Wake has never since gotten as deep in the tourney as Duncan took them. The fans rewarded that with the country's 19th best attendance average in 1997. The well-rounded Duncan became the first player to finish his college career with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 400 blocks, and 200 assists. He swept Player of the Year honors, culminating in receiving the Wooden Award from the man himself. Said a smiling John Wooden, "I've always wanted it to go to a graduating senior." And graduate Timmy did, not only from Wake Forest, but into the league, where he was well worth the wait as the first pick. The Spurs' injury-plagued down year lucking them into said pick put him in the best possible situation, but you can't overstate what he did with the opportunity. Only Michael Jordan and Larry Bird can say they had a career quite like Duncan, all winning the Wooden Award, NBA Rookie of the Year, regular season MVP, Finals MVP, and All-Star Game MVP. He didn't show a ton of personality in interviews and saved any emotions for the biggest moments, but he balanced that with consistent greatness. In 19 seasons, all with the Spurs, he never missed the playoffs. He somehow never won Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA, despite making 15 all-defensive teams. Only Bill Russell has more career defensive win shares. He topped out at 25.5 points per game, never reaching 19 shot attempts per game. San Antonio's unselfish, unflashy system wouldn't have produced 5 championships without its ideal star, a star who improbably arrived almost fully formed. This episode of Wooden Award Spotlight is presented by Principal, proud sponsor of the 2026 John R. Wooden Player of the Year.